I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the Friday, February 16th, 2018 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details, as we are continuing this Valentine's week with great quotes about love in the Bible. You've probably heard sometimes skeptics say that the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament are very different characters. One being harsh and very violent, and the other one being warm and fuzzy warm. The truth is, of course, it's the same God. And this is especially seen in how there are quotes in both the Old and the New Testament about the importance of love. When Christ was asked, what is the greatest commandment? He said that the greatest commandment was to love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind and soul and spirit. Now, interestingly, he also said, and the second is like the first, love your neighbor as yourself. Where was he getting that? It was from the Old Testament, in the law of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 18. It says that you are not to be mean to your enemies, but rather you are to love your neighbor as yourself. In the New Testament, Paul in Romans 13:8 says, "Be under no obligation to anyone, but your only obligation to someone is to love them. For if you love, you have fulfilled the law." God has always said that love not only lasts, as we talked about in another program this week, but love is foremost. It is said that the beloved disciple John, the last of the disciples to die when he was an old man and could not even walk anymore, early church history says he was carried into gatherings, and his last words to the church were, "Little children, love one another." Not only did John say that, and we've already talked about Paul talking about it in Romans, but so did another great early church father, and that was Peter. Peter, who was on this earth probably the best earthly friend of Christ during his earthly ministry. And in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, he said to love one another earnestly, for love covers a multitude of sins. What does that mean? It is not excusing sin in any way, but it is saying that love is ultimately the driving force and the force that is the most closely aligned with God and our faithfulness to Him. And so I ask you and myself today, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good a lover are you? And of course, I'm not talking about romantically necessarily. I'm talking about loving people. Do you deliberately put them first? Does it even enter your mind? Or are we so self-centered and so self-absorbed with the busyness and urgency and concerns and fears and desires of our own life that we don't even see not only the needs, but the wants of other people, or just that other people are in the room? How conscious are we, and how intentional are we at loving one another? We are told to love one another earnestly. What does that mean? It conveys several things, not only great depth and passion, but it also means ongoing. It's not a one-time thing. Well, I'll do something big for you right now, show you I love you, and then I can check out for a while and coast. Love, real love, is a marathon. And it is not a marathon where there are any down times. In my leadership coaching and teaching, I tell leaders there are no throwaway moments. For every moment may be the moment when the camera of somebody's memory comes down and says, this moment crystallizes my feeling about you. And you may not be at your best. Let us hope that when people see you and when they decide this will be the moment that I remember in my memory and in my heart about you, it will be a moment when you are showing the greatest virtue that you can have according to the Bible. And that is love. Love of the God who created you, love of the people who have been created in his image, love of the life he has given you, the abilities, opportunities, and chances that he has blessed you with. And so as we conclude this week of Valentine's, I am grateful for love. I am grateful that God has given me the capacity to love, given me people to love, and given me a God who